So our training today was pretty brutal. We went hard because we had to get all you can eat sushi.
Oh yeah.
So that means that everything was nuts. But I ended up doing one of my favorite sessions that I like to do when I'm trying to gain mass on my back, plus do Olympic lifts. It was power snatches, basically working up to a heavy 3, and then snatch high pull, but I did that from a deficit. And then this one I did clean high pull and then power clean, but my legs were too smoked, so I couldn't actually do the power cleans. Mona fixed my power snatch because I stopped pushing. So I ended up doing more power snatches and I ended up doing deficit snatch high pulls to get that push.
And I think that sometimes, you know, if like you don't have a coach or someone actually telling you these things, that's why it's so good to get that like in-person coaching, because you can work on those things immediately. Because sometimes you're like, okay, I'm tired now, I'm just gonna call it because my legs are tired. But
I did.
But then I said to you, continue, do more, you know, you don't have to necessarily do the amount of sets more or reps, because he was doing 3s. We said, okay, go heavier, and then at the end just to like do a last set with like the reps that he can actually mind muscle remember, if that makes sense. Because
to get that feeling,
to get that feeling, but then also remember that feeling. Because the thing is, most people will get it like, say, one of the reps, and that's what happens to James. He will have like, his first rep will be okay, then his second rep is bad, and then his third rep is good. But I said to him, the thing is, he needs to be able to do rep 1, 2, and 3 the same. Otherwise, you don't really know what you're doing wrong and you don't have that feeling. So once he got it right and he got multiple repetitions right, we said, okay, do an end of set where you go, I think you went a little bit heavier, but he ended up
did the same. I just did a double.
But you just did double, yes. But that was his base set, and that's when we were like, okay, you did 2 really good reps, you know, now before it goes down the drain again.
Well, what did you do?
We'll call it. Yeah, so I had a really nice session too, because
I'm getting cramp on my hang on.
Oh my
I did
gosh.
too much shoulders.
okay, weak man, but
Excuse me.
so I ended up doing weightlifting as well, which was so much fun. It actually,
Now your back's fragile though.
well, my back's fragile, but also my traps. But the thing is, I am only 3 months postpartum. Not that that's an excuse. It's more that my joints are still like lax and super relaxed. So I do just feel a little bit more sore than normal. So I just take a bit more precaution, and I'll rest a bit more. And then I'll just make sure when I do lift again, I'll make sure I warm up properly.
You did some legit hang snatches, all right?
But it was so much fun doing hang snatches. I actually built up to 32 and a half.
No, 32 and a half.
I built up to 32 and a half, and it was so nice. Like, my goal next week is to get 35, and to just progressively overload every single week, but make sure that my technique is really good. So I've been going back a little bit to my older technique, where before I was a lot more over the bar, and James also noticed that. And now I told him I want to go how my back actually feels the most comfortable, and how I can do the movement feeling good but with no pain doing it. And that actually felt the best for my body, because over the years,
It's your old technique.
It's my old technique, but also I've changed a lot. My body has changed. I've, you know, lost a lot of weight compared to like what I used to be when I was competitively competing. So doing that, your technique also changes. And also even changing weightlifting shoes over the years, like you need to make small little adjustments in order to feel comfortable with the weight. So that's what I ended up doing. And I really just focused on like getting the rhythm, focusing on that solid punch, getting nicely under the bar. I did a lot of primers and warm-ups beforehand, because for me, it's not important now to go as heavy as I can, as quick as I can. For me, it's important to be able to do the technique properly from the bar. So if I can't get into a full snatch with just the bar, there's absolutely no point in me doing the movement or going heavier. So then I would rather just do bar for the whole session, make sure I do it properly, because I've got nothing to lose or to gain by not doing it. Actually, I've got everything to gain by just doing bar, if that makes sense. But yeah, so what I did was I did a couple of sets of bar, so that I can get myself into that full squat position. I can feel comfortable under the bar, like nothing felt stiff. My hips didn't feel stiff, but I had to do many reps to get into that position. And then after I started feeling comfortable, I added slowly but surely, I added a bit more weight until I got to 32 and a half. And I just continued doing reps and reps and reps. And yeah, I stopped when I felt like, okay, my body's starting to feel a bit fragile now. So I made a good call.
And now you're starting to finish sessions with rotation or something similar.
Yes, that's true. I almost forgot about it. Yes, so one of my biggest things is when I hurt my back in 2018 or 2019, one of the things that ended up happening is like my spine just like seized up. So I literally,
already like that.
yeah, so
But it's an adaptation from weightlifting.
Yes.
So it's supposed to be stiff.
It's supposed to be stiff, but it became
But now-
so stiff that I literally couldn't even move. And my body would literally just like seize up if I would like pick something up or just turn to the side, etc. So now I've been making sure that instead of me just doing weightlifting, I want to be a bit more athletic. I want to do a bit more bodybuilding movements. I want to get strong, build muscle, but I also want to be able to move and do things because I have a kid and I want to be able to do things with Mia and Odin and things like that. So yeah, I did some plate rotations at the end. I also did some calf raises just because I want my calves to grow, not any weightlifting specific, but it was nice. I definitely have been feeling a lot better. It was a few weeks ago, about a month ago, when my body's just feeling really fragile. And I think it's just my body getting back to its normal, like my bones are starting to go back to where it was before birth. And that's one thing that you kind of forget about. You kind of just want to chase a number and you want to get back to like your old self and etc. But you're not your old self. So you are now a different version of yourself after you've had kids. So you have to take those things into consideration, like your pelvic floor health. You have to take in like how your hips go back. You have to take in that you've got diastasis recti, so your abs, you know, with your abs tearing and things. So you have to make sure that, you know, obviously that goes back. And I can now feel like my body is starting to feel ready in order for me to slowly but surely go heavier. And yeah, I'm excited to see what,
see it as we film it.
Yeah, I'm excited for 2025 to see what that year holds. I've got some goals in mind, and I'll just continue training and be my best self. And James, what's your goals for 2025?
Training goals?
I
need to do more jiu-jitsu.
Okay, wants to get into more jiu-jitsu. And what about your gaining muscle, that kind of stuff?
That's
Getting
ongoing.
bigger.
It's ongoing.
It's ongoing. Okay. But anyways, guys, that was our weightlifting for today. We will see you in the next one.